All right, so welcome to another rapid fire business story of the week. This is part of our rapid fire series, and today we have an incredible guest with us, someone who's achieved extraordinary success and is here to share their unique business journey with you. We're excited to hear their insights, so let's welcome them to the show. All right, so as this is our rapid fire series, we've got 1 minute or less to answer each question. So in a minute or less, give us the elevator pitch to your story and your life. Go.
Sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. My name is Akilah Mendez-Valdez. I'm the founder and owner of Haute in Texas. We're a full service PR and marketing agency.
So that's fascinating, and I would love to dig a little bit deeper. So tell us a bit more about what you're working on today that you're most passionate about and believe will have the biggest impact.
Sure. So we definitely believe that, our specialty of working with female founders is a wonderful cause, but for us, it's actually a business strategy as well. We tend to find that female founders in particular are doing really exciting, interesting things, and they tend to be disrupting their industry as well. So for us, it makes for a great story to tell to the media or with their online presence in their own social media or content strategies. So we really love that aspect. We love helping female founders tell, their own story as a founder or the story of their business. And so for us in the next couple of years, really honing in on that vision and taking it to the next level is going to be key.
So this next question is one that every entrepreneur has dealt with. Tell us about a time where you failed. We often say failure is the first step to success. So think about a time where you failed in the past. What happened? What did you learn from it?
Sure. Yeah. So for us, actually just fairly recently in the very end of 2024, we launched a new service offering called the Content Clinic. Our goal was to be able to host women business owners here in our offices in person and help them with their content for social media, give them sort of a done with you approach. And we failed because it was crickets. We had absolutely nobody sign up, and it felt as if we were, banging our heads against a wall until we stopped in the very beginning of 2025 and asked the feedback from our listeners and our audience to say, what did we miss? What was it that made you not want to sign up or not be interested? And through that experience, we learned that it was the in-person component that people felt like they couldn't quite commit to be able to meet in our offices every single month. And so we immediately took that feedback and pivoted and launched an online version. And what do you know? Doing a program that was done with you, but from a virtual standpoint where they could do any sort of, coursework on their own schedule. We saw that people immediately went ahead and signed up and had some enrollments. And it's been a hugely rewarding program to get off the ground. And we're excited to see it grow.
That's fascinating. And we're definitely going to have you back on the show to dive deeper into each of these questions. But for now, one thing that I often say is, and I tell this to my employees and the people who work with me and for me all the time, is that when a tree falls in the forest, if nobody hears it, did that tree actually fall? This brings me to this next question. How do you make sure that all of these amazing projects that you're involved in get noticed? What marketing and advertising methods have worked best for you? You've got a minute. Let's go.
Right. It's funny because I feel like when you are a marketing agency, everyone expects that, you are able to do your own, press and PR and marketing on your own for yourself. It must be really easy, right? But the truth is that, we end up being kind of a cobbler with no shoes sort of scenario where in reality, it's really challenging to find the time for us to do our own marketing just like any other business. So for us, what we've done, over the past past year or so is really hone in on the type of content that our audience wants to see us create. So whether that is blog posts that have really deep dive, on subjects in our industry, or, we've done live streams where we tackle a subject and do, webinars that interview different folks, clients and things like that. Anytime we can do marketing that doesn't feel like marketing is when we see people reaching out and saying, hey, I saw you did that really cool, live stream. We want to be able to chat about possibly working together. So we take a very sort of soft approach with our marketing. But at the same time, I think at the end of the day, it's all about the consistency of it. So no matter what you're doing as a marketing tactic, doing it consistently and at a high level for 6+ months is really what it takes to see a big difference.
That was so awesome. We're definitely going to dive deeper into this on a later show. And as we approach our last question, before we ask people how people can get a hold of you, how people can reach you, learn more about the work that you're doing in your company, and we will include all that information in the show notes. What I wanted to ask you is, what is one piece of advice that you would offer to your younger self, to our audience, and to somebody, especially somebody who's just starting out in the same niche that you're in, but just doesn't know how to start or get going?
I think the biggest thing that I see now, 10 years into owning our agency, is that we probably played it too small for too long. And what I mean by that is that, we were sort of waiting on opportunities saying, well, we're not quite ready for that, or, oh, we're not going to quite, aim that high, or, we wouldn't be able to take on this sort of level of client. And in reality, I think that the business owners that scale quickly are the ones that just jump in and do it, even if it scares them. So I would love to be able to go back and give my younger self that advice, that fear is the only thing holding you back, and saying yes to every opportunity just means that you'll figure it out, you'll rise to the occasion, and your business can scale and grow much faster as a result.
Amazing stuff. We're going to have to thank our guest today for being a guest on Business Story of the Week. And before we cut out on this episode, I wanted to ask you, how can people get a hold of you? How can people learn more about what you're doing? And how do people engage with you? And we will transcribe this and put it in the show notes for everybody to find.
Absolutely. So if anybody is interested or wants to connect, they can find us on our website, which is hitpr.com. Or you can connect with us on social media. We're pretty much on every channel. We are at Haute in Texas. So that's HAUTE. in Texas, and we would love to connect. Feel free to reach out, and we are always happy to chat all things PR and marketing.
All right, amazing. So you did it. Thank you for being a guest on the show today. Let me tell you what you can expect next. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this, we're going to cut it into an episode. It will go on the Business Story of the Week page. So make sure you go on Apple Podcasts, review us, like us, go on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to us on Spotify, and this will come out in the next 30 days or so, depending on our workload and how many shows we have. We have had a lot of interest in the show lately, so we may be a little backed up, but the show will get out. In the meanwhile, we will send you clips that feel free to share on social. Also, the full episode, feel free to share any way that you like. The content is yours to share and put out there. We just ask that you mark us and tag us in the notes if you do. So in the copy, put hashtag Business Story of the Week. Link back to us. We would appreciate that. And if you think that you might be interested in doing more podcasts, live ones and studio ones, Zoom ones, Riverside ones, there's a whole host of shows that likely, if you did this one and succeeded, you would probably be really great at, and a great way of getting your message out. So your host will talk to you about potentially getting you booked on a strategy call for a Business Story of the Week's sister company, Podcast Cola, or becoming a YouTube influencer through Viral Mirage. Thanks again for being a part of this. Looking forward to working with you.